Hey folks, welcome back to the garage. It's been a minute, and one second. Catch it in time, so that's good. All right, that's done. Hey folks, welcome back to the garage. I have a question for you. Wait a minute. Ah, dang it. All right, now that that's done, so as I was saying, I have a question. I have a couple questions for you folks. I think Mrs. Sleazy and I have decided to sell the 2016 Edge. I might take this over, my daily driver. So she's taken over the truck as like her daily driver. It's a nice Mustang. I like it. I like a little bit more inspiration in this Mustang. Mrs. Sleazy bought this 2006 Mustang GT. It is the 3-valve 4.6. I know some folks think it's a little anemic, but we'll get to that in a minute. Automatic transmission. She opted for these torque thrust style rims. She really liked those at the time. We're both kind of on the fence about them at the moment. I have some thoughts about that as well. I would like to do some, not crazy mods, but tasteful, and make this a vehicle that I want to drive. Kind of kept her as a garage baby. So she only has 2,500 original miles. For a 2006, that's almost unheard of, and she's just a GT, so there's nothing really that special about her. Let's take a look at these tires really quick. These are the original tires from 2006. What's the date code here? I think that's the date code, 5205, so 2005, I don't know. Help me out here. 235/50 Z18s. And they're actually in really good shape. Look, there's like no dry rotting on them. The only thing is I don't know if I trust driving it. Almost 20-year-old tires at this point. So we'll get to that in a second. The only thing that is done is a catback Flowmaster exhaust. So I've been keeping up with all the periodic maintenance. We bring it to Ford when there's a recall. Mrs. Sleazy won Babe of the Month posing on her. This car is registered. We've kept her insured. We've kept her inspected. Part of the registration process is you have to have a New York State inspection. So that's gonna factor into my major question that's coming up. Let's talk about some mods that we wanna do. And I think the first thing we should probably talk about is power, right? Because the 4.6 3-valve, some folks will say it's perfectly fine, leave it. It's a great motor. That engine only has 2,500 miles on it, so it's in great shape. We could throw a Pro Charger or something on there, get a little more power, some kind of boost. So that's an option. Option number one, we'll call it. Supercharger, some kind of boost, maybe an on-3 turbo kit. I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of nitrous, but I'm willing to hear what you guys have to say. Another option would be to Coyote swap. Now, if I take the same path that I'm following here with my 89, with this Coyote swap, this is a junkyard motor, has 35,000 miles on it. Do I really want to switch to a used engine? I mean, look at this thing. It looks like we're in like a time warp, right? That's all the corrosion there is on the car so far. Yeah, so hard to believe this is a 2006. I mean, it's not that hard to believe, right? She starts right up, no problems. So another option would be to Coyote swap. The benefit is a Coyote swap going in there immediately gives you over 100 horsepower increase. And it's probably gonna cost the same as doing a supercharger or some kind of boost. The difference is then you could put boost on that and make even more horsepower. That's an option. Another option would be to sell both cars, get a brand new Mustang. I don't know, kind of like the 2025 S650. It's an option. Thinking about it, although that's way more money. I don't know how much I could get for this thing, let's be honest. Yes, it is in pristine condition, but I mean, it's not special. It's a GT. It's unfortunately, it's not a Cobra. Looking on Bring It Trailer, maybe I'll get, I don't know, 14,000, something like that if I'm lucky. Maybe a collector comes along, decides to pay a little bit more. Who knows? The point is, selling it is an option, but not that much money. Another option, I don't know. You tell me. Tell me in the comments what you would do. If you had a 2006 Mustang with 2,500 miles on it, just doing nothing, just sitting here. No matter what we choose for a boost in power, we're going to need likely a better fuel supply for the engine. The engine in here makes like 300 horse, something like that. Maybe more, maybe 310. I don't know. It's not a lot. Mrs. Sleazy says that she is slow and can't get out of her own way. But let's talk about the fuel system for a bit. So when today's sponsor, Evil Energy, reached out, I started to really consider what I wanted to do with the future of this vehicle. On the Fox Body project, I've used Evil Energy AN tools. They're fantastic. This oil drain back plug, so if you get a turbo, you can hook it up. But this plug right here is from Evil Energy. We bought other AN wrenches and some fittings from them, not necessarily for this project, but all really high quality stuff. So I want to share this fuel system kit that they sent over. All right. This is their 6AN 3/8 inch PTFE EFI fuel line fitting kit. Now, the stock fuel system on the 06 isn't bad up to a point. From my understanding, I did some Googling, I'm not entirely certain. The feed line is 5/16 inner diameter, which equates to a 5AN. These are 6AN, but they are 3/8 inner diameter. So right off the bat, this is gonna flow more. Also, the return line is only a 1/4 inch, which would be a 4AN. So if you replace it with this as well, that would also be an improvement. These lines are PTFE as well, I believe. So you folks who run corn, this will be good for you. This is designed as a way to plumb your fuel system from the tank to the front of the vehicle, typically with a fuel regulator at the front and with a return line. I believe that this is, I think it's 26 feet, which is usually good enough to make the distance between. If you want an example of installing one of these, you can check out my fuel line installation from the Mustang. So I'm going to show you on the screen what fittings you get with it as I open these up. It's an installation tool. So let's take a look. So of course you get the braided steel line. Just one thing I want to point out about this line that they give you. You can see the steel braiding around this, but they also put a nylon braiding around the outside of that as well. I know a lot of other folks are doing this as well, but I appreciate this because if you look at the steel braided lines that I have on there, which are a little bit more abrasive, I'm already having issues where it's abrading into the paint job that I just did. So this is much nicer to touch and to handle. You know, braided steel lines, you get oil, dirt, grease on them. This is going to hide it a little bit better. The stainless steel ones, you see it. It's really difficult to clean. Just my personal experience. So they give you these nice clamps. These clamps are really nice, actually. It's all anodized aluminum. They give you these quick connects on the fuel line itself. I don't have an example to show you, but this kind of sandwiches in between, allows you to use the stock vehicles quick connects. A lot of the fuel filter kits that you get also use these as well. These are 290 degrees, 280 degrees, 245 degrees. These are standard unions. And then there's this looks like a reducer of some sort. Could be an adapter to 6AN. I'm keeping these in the bags because I'm going to be using them on the 06 at a certain point. We're not doing the installation of this today, but still need to buy a fuel pump, regulator, the pickup that has the connections to convert to. You can probably use these, but you're going to want to make sure that you're using a 6AN pickup tube down into the tank. So I have to get a tank for that as well. This is an installation tool for when you are installing one of these. I'm not sure if I've ever shown how to set up one of these, but basically what you do is you cut this, cut it to the length, you put the ferrule in. So your hose is basically going to be in between here, like that. And then this clamps that ferrule to the base here, and what that does is that clamps everything nice and tightly together. You get a nice leak-proof fit. Really great kit. Big sales right now going on. I'm filming this on Black Friday. You can use my code, Sleazy10, and you can get 10% off. But once again, if you're interested in this kit, check out the description for a link, or just check out their website. They got a ton of really cool stuff. Back to the car for a moment. There are these wheels that both Mrs. Sleazy and I really like. They're called the R355 from LMR. I will show you on the screen what they're going to look like, but those are the wheels and tires that I am planning on getting. In the meantime, I may throw like a little bit of a spacer in here, because if you notice, these wheels are really tucked. I like a flush mount. So if the wheel came out to like here, I'd be okay with it. I could drive that for a little bit. So maybe I'll throw a spacer on just for now. With that said, this thing still rides really high in the air. Like, look at this. That's really high. We're gonna address this suspension issue. To lower these, you can get a set of springs, but it has a panhard bar. So if you lower it, the panhard bar, stock one's not adjustable, so it's gonna push the axle like this way. You don't want that, so you have to get an adjustable panhard bar as well. So if I'm gonna be doing that, then might as well get control arms too, right? So let's do control arms, wheels and tires, panhard bar, lowering springs, and I think that's good for suspension. Like that's where I'll draw the line. She drives really nice. I'm really happy with that. I'm also going to swap places. So the 03 is gonna go in the back there, and the 06 will be in the front here. Let's take a look underneath. Look how nice it is under here, wow. Fram. How do we feel about Fram, folks? That's gotta go. Exhaust looks great. So, I know I was talking about it before, but just to, ow! Oh, wow, that hurt really bad. Oil's still pretty clear. If we stick with the 3 valve, and we put some kind of boost on it. The benefit is, I know it'll pass New York State inspection, which it's gonna have to for a bit of time. I don't exactly know all the details about a coyote swap in here. I'm assuming, and it could be made to pass an inspection, but I have no idea. If you know, let me know in the comments. New York State inspections are kind of a pain in the ass. But at least they don't put you on the dyno anymore, so that's good. So for 25 years you have to be plugged in, and your computer has to talk about all its sensors and whatnot. Obviously, I still have catalytic converters on here. I do like to obey the law, obey emissions laws. But that said, the Coyote does apparently just drop right in. There's not a lot that's required to make it work, considering the S197 platform has Coyotes in it a couple of years later. So these are the things that I'm kind of wrestling with. And I know a lot of you folks, I'm not dumb, a lot of you folks are gonna be like, just sell it, just get rid of it, get a Coyote Mustang. And that is a valid take. So if that's your take, great. I'm personally not leaning towards that at the moment, because I do like this car. We've kept it this long. I've taken care of it. I do have some attachment to it. I am interested in what you folks think, so feel free to let me know. Here was the other rub. The wife and I occasionally make trips into the city, and we drive down there. So that would imply that this vehicle will have actual city miles driven, and parking it is always a little sketchy, so kind of have to make my peace with that. If that's the case, you know what? Cars are meant to be driven. Leave it to Ford to leave a permeable thing right underneath. I don't think I've ever owned a Ford where the oil filter just leaks directly into a pan, except for the edge. Everything else drips all over something. It's also important to mention that I don't really have lofty horsepower goals for this car. I'm not looking to make 800, maybe 450, 500 the most. Dudes, look at that motor mount. Look at that. I'm just pointing this out because it'll probably never look like this again. See all that is spilled along this thing? Ugh. I'm a jerk. There is one other small problem I have with this car, and it's that the radio head unit that I put in is not working correctly. Alright folks, we're gonna wrap this one up. Again, apologies for the talking heavy video. Huge thanks to the sponsor of this video, Evil Energy. Check out their website. They have some great deals going on right now. Use my code, Sleazy10, at checkout. I believe it's 10% off. Make sure you check out the kit. The link is in the description. Let me know what you think of the 06. I have some parts coming for the Fox body. More on that soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Let me turn on the light real quick. I can't even reach it. Look at this. These are the original. Oh no. Stupid. Who fucking installed this? Okay, let's get this fucking Fram filter out of here. Like I said, we want to do a set of... My God, look at this. This is terrible. I gotta clean my garage after this.